At the progress of my build. And I'd have to say, in those few months, I've done probably the most significant changes to the build. So let's take a deep dive in and look at some of them, and then we'll discuss some of the future plans that I plan to do with the truck. Now the first thing that we'll go over, and is probably my favorite thing that I've added aesthetically to the build, are these main line Overland rock sliders. I picked these up, I believe, in either April or May, up in Bow, New Hampshire, and it's kind of blossomed into this awesome friendship with the guys over there in the shop at Mainline Overland. Definitely go check them out for any of your overland needs. But they just add such a presence and just give you that peace of mind when you're on the trail that you can be a little bit more aggressive and not worry about, you know, coming down on your rocker panel and destroying like the whole door and everything and caving that in. So these definitely have been probably my favorite add to the build to date. I know there's definitely been a few changes since the last video, but that's what happens when you keep adding stuff. Now another thing I'm sure that you've probably noticed that I've added is this upgraded bed rack system. I mentioned that in my last video that I wanted to go up a little bit taller, and I did it. So my friend and I, we constructed a unistrut bed rack that bolts right into the same, like the tonneau cover or whatever, like the bed rails right there. And I spray painted it black with some bed liner, and does the job perfectly fine. It's added that height that I wanted. It's gonna give me the ability to add some like rear lights right here that I'm gonna get from Dynamics, which will be nice for some chase lights and also some camp lighting. It's also allowed me to add another thing that we'll discuss in a couple minutes, but don't worry about it. But it's given me the ability, you know, to put a cooler underneath here. I don't know if you guys remember, I last had my cooler up there between the back window and the tent, so that was kind of difficult, and it wasn't really accessible when I got to camp and everything. I'd have to take the cooler out and everything, but now with this I can just do everything. It's nice. Now let's jump into my drawers. I know I said the rock sliders are probably my favorite like part of the truck, but I would say aesthetically, but this is definitely my favorite, like usability and everything. This has made camping so much easier. So what I have is a set of wooden drawers. This right here is just on some plastic slides, and it is a full length thing. Leave it just like that. I can fill my whole stuff up, which is filled right now, but it's really messy, so we're actually not gonna look in it just right now. Then I have this, which is on a 32-inch locking slides right here, which is my cooler, and is, like I said, just so much easier. I can pull this out and then pop the cooler right there, and then I have my favorite, where my grill right here, so I can just pop this out, bam, 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 and cook. And then just all I do when I leave in the morning is, and like that. I might not be able to close because my chair just fell, but like that, and it just locks right away, and I'm done. This whole setup and everything was actually designed by my friend Ross at Project Alpine 603. If you want to check him out, he has a Nissan Xterra, and he builds drawers and everything, and also now is doing them for Tacomas. So, I mean, it's just the perfect camping setup. On the cheaper side, it only weighs around, I think, around 200 pounds. So it's not that bad, like on weight. I don't know how much like the deck system is or everything, but I know it's like, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but like $1,400, which is insane. I think well, with the lumber prices being crazy, and when I made this a couple months ago, and they still are kind of crazy, but they're coming down. But this is about $400, I think, not just for the lumber. I think $150 on the plywood alone, because I had to get 3 sheets of it, because there's our bottom piece. And then the slides were also the most expensive, just because like they're the nice locking ones, but they're heavy duty and they really like they don't bend or anything like this. I mean, obviously a little bit, but it's nothing like bad. So I can just leave this open like I usually do, and it's perfectly fine. Like I always have a cast iron pan and everything on that. I boiled a lobster my last trip to Acadia. I'll link that below. Sorry, below. That was amazing. I boiled a whole boil of the lobster on that and everything. So it definitely can hold the rigidity and everything like that. There's never been an issue like that. I wish I would have finished like the painting and everything. I still have to do it, but I kind of just got lazy and kind of just started the season just camping and camping. So it's definitely been, but this is, like I said, probably my favorite like usability of the aspect of the truck, where the rock sliders are definitely like the favorite looking of it. I mean, everyone loves it. It's just so easy and just makes everything just so much better. Like I said, like my last setup was awful. I just throw everything in the bed and everything, and it'd all be around, but I don't hear any jiggling or anything like that. I used to have totes that I'd have to like reach all the way in there, so this has just made it so much better. Now with adding the weight like the drawers, this new bed rack system, even though it doesn't weigh that much, and my tent, there was a rear end sag that I had to fix. So I upgraded to the Icon RXT Stage 2 leaf pack installed by, again, the people over at Mainline Overland. Check them out. Which has just been such a difference, like with ride quality and just how the truck feels. It feels so much more confidence inspiring when you're driving down the highway or even on the back roads and everything. I remember when I was going down my first trip that we went through Vermont, which was a lot of fun, but I had the stock leaf pack, and it would max out and just slam all the time, so that was really bad. So this one has really just completely changed the truck. Like I said, it makes it so much better when I'm driving down the roads. Like we were driving down the power lines we were going faster, and the truck felt perfect. It feels just like you can really throw it into the corner, and there's no body leaner anymore. There's no when you go over any dips or anything. It's fun. I want to go up to the 5160s. I'm only running the 5100s right now, so I think that'll probably be the next thing. But wow, I mean, it's only at stage 2, so that gives it like 2 inches, like I think 2.5 inches. And it's like rated for 400 pounds, which with the tent, the drawers, and like everything, like the cooler and everything, should be about 400 pounds. It's given the truck kind of a little bit like a reverse Georgia squat, or Florida squat, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. So I think what I'm going to have to do is either go all out with Bilstein 6112s in a stiffer coil that gives me about like another, I don't know, like another couple like millimeters, I think almost to another inch of lift, because I'm at 883s right now in Old Man Emus on the 5100s, but no lift, only the coil is giving me the lift. So, but I don't know if I should just kind of go the cheaper route and do, because I'm going to do upper control arms when I do it, and I don't really want to spend like, I think it'd be like $1,400 with like everything, probably like 17 with installment and everything, because I don't want to mess with the upper control arms. But I'm thinking maybe I should just kind of go the cheaper route, because the 5100s, they're fine for what I do. I don't really use like, I'm not really bajaing the truck or like off-roading that much where I think I can justify the price of the 6112s. I think so, I'll go with a stiffer coil like an 885, 886, which would give me that added lift that I wanted. And then if I wanted to add like a skid plate, which is like I am going to add another one because I only have like the factory TRD one right now. So I think that might be the route that I go. It's just like an 885 and the SPC control arms, but time will tell. Alrighty guys, so because I didn't show you in my last walkthrough video, I'll show you it now. This is my Overland Vehicle Systems TMBK 3 rooftop tent. I know, it's a mouthful, but I decided to go with the TMBK just because, honestly, the price, when I bought it last year, it was only $899 shipped and everything, so there we go. And also, last year there was like a real shortage of rooftop tents, so there's that. It fits my husky and I, Kenai, perfectly well. I've honestly never had a second person up here. He's sleeping with me yet. So there's that. But honestly, I think with a second person, we'd still have a perfectly fine room. It is a 3-person tent. I think they rate it for like 2 adults and 1 kid, which would make perfect amount of sense. I honestly think it's probably bigger than my bed at home, because I don't really ever bump into him in this, but I know at home I kick him all the time accidentally. Not like, you know, just like when you're sleeping and everything. It has about only like a 2-inch mattress, so there's that, which I wish, and I probably will upgrade if I don't switch, because I want to do like a wedge style camper, but you know what I mean. So I think I'll probably upgrade the mattress to at least like a 3 or a 4-inch foam, because I keep 2 blankets up here, and but nothing else. I can keep a couple pillows and everything here, so I think it'd be fine with a 4-inch mattress. It does come with, like, obviously a set of poles to bring those out and everything, but unfortunately I think I've lost them. When I stored it at my father's house for the winter, I just can't seem to locate them. It did come with a rain fly, which personally I have used in the rain a couple times and have never gotten wet. It keeps the heat in perfectly fine. Honestly, too much. There's usually a line of moisture between the tent and the rain fly every time I wake up in the morning. So, but other than that, I mean, honestly, guys, for the money, it's really been a great tent and the perfect addition to my Overland build. It's brought me all the way out to Colorado. I've slept in it in Acadia National Park, Vermont multiple times. Yep, so. Now that we've covered everything new on the outside, let's jump on into the inside. Now for what I've added to the inside portion has been this Bird Dog Industries tray right here. Hopefully you can see it right there, that I mounted my iPad on, which allows me to run Gaia GPS and any other like maps. I've then connected my lights to these switches, and then I'm hoping that you guys see this right here. I've actually added a Midland GMRS, the MX275 version, right in there in the most hidden spot that I could do. And it's fed up to there, right there. I screwed in the port just because it's just so many issues of it falling out with the tape. No offense to Midland. So I have all these right there that I've synced up and everything. Looks beautiful. I still have that kind of power inverter down there that powers all that and everything. But I've also added like another thing for my cameras. And I have the same phone mount. I would like to switch to a quad lock case, but I'm pretty sure I said that in the last video and just haven't added it yet. So something I think probably every truck, or honestly every vehicle, should have is a good set of liners. So I added a Husky set of liners just because I happen to have a Husky. So I figured I'd go for it, and they also didn't have that bad reviews, and there was an Amazon code, so, you know, I went with those. They've been great. They make it so much easier when cleaning the truck and everything, and especially when I've gotten some muddy a few times. It's so much easier that it's not like on this carpet or any other carpet. So definitely would suggest getting a good set of liners for any vehicle that you have, honestly. I've also added this tactical seat back cover slash, I don't know, just holder and everything in these 2 bags. This is one I think is my first aid, and this is just another first aid kind of kit. Little plastic bags and everything else in here. I have a fresh water kit just in case. I also have, which I think another thing everyone should have, is a roll-up set of like tools, or like a tool bag. I don't know what they're. I got it off Amazon, I think, for honestly $24, and it's been so perfect. I've personally never had a breakdown on the trail yet. Knock on wood. I don't know. Hopefully, I never want to have a breakdown. Sorry, there was an animal. Sorry. So I've never had a trail breakdown, but if I ever did, I have at least the tools that I think I would personally need, but not sure. So there's that I've also added. I've added a few extra things like fix a flat, just like regular things just in case, you know. PB blaster, always good to have. I also have this really nice kind of like napkin dispenser / holder that spits out wet wipes for when I'm camping. I think in the future, I'm most likely going to add some switches to the sunglass holder. I think probably onboard air and another like light setup, or I will utilize that blank one right there for onboard air, but I kind of would like to add in other things. And I really like it looks clean when it's up there. Or maybe even honestly, if I could go right there, that'd be nice, but you never know. I also added something that you can really only hear while driving, which is sound deadening. I added it to the doors, and I can link the video of my install below. I added that because I really just, with the new Falcon Wild Peaks, even though they're not loud at all, I still wanted to kind of quiet up the truck a little bit more. I wish, and I most likely in the future will add more to the rear back there, just like on the, I think on the seats and everything, because I only took off the front door panels and everything like that and aligned them. I did it with, I think, 80 mil, like, just like that, almost like it looks like tinfoil basically kind of thing, and then 300 mil, either 310, like 350 or 300 mil, I can't remember what it is. I put it all over this, so it really added to, definitely made the ride a lot quiet, not like a lot quieter, but quieter, but it's added the biggest thing to the music. There's definitely a lot more bass and everything, and that's what I think was probably is the main goal of sound deadening. So I think if I add some more to like the rear seats and everything like that, it would really quiet the inside. But there's really no complaints because I'm usually rolling with the windows down anyways. I'd have to say the build process of this truck has been a huge learning experience. You know, I've learned a lot about like woodworking. I've learned how to, you know, change my own oil and all that stuff. You know, it might be stupid, you know, I didn't know how to do it before, but I owned like a Volvo XC70 before this, so I don't even think I could open the hood in that one, but now I can change my own oil. I grease my own U-joints and everything like that. I know it's like the easiest thing ever, but it's the little things that, you know, make you, and it's just been a really fun time building this truck. And who knows what the future has in store, you know. I definitely don't have any plans to sell it, but then again, you know, I never really had a plan to sell my Volvo, and I love that car. That was the first car I bought, but I bought that straight out. I still have to make some payments on this, but with like the car market nowadays, oof, I could almost double my money for what I paid for it, and that's very enticing. But you know, this is like the perfect kind of go everywhere, do everything kind of vehicle. I can cruise on the highway all the way down to Acadia, 626 miles at 75, 80 the whole time and no issues. Or I can go to Vermont and wheel on class 4 roads all weekend, you know, and be in 4-wheel drive and 4-low that whole time, and then just drive back on the highway like nothing ever happened. So, name, you know, another vehicle that can do that.